listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to US Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country to win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Welcome to Reset Race. I'm Michael Graham of Actify Press, and here on Reset Race, we discuss race, politics, and how those two things intersect. We got the regular crew here. Not the regular crew. We got the awesome crew here. Is here. So let's start with Sam, as we often do. Sam, tell him who he is.
I'm gonna keep it super short today because Mark Thompson. I'm ready to start cutting off little pieces and roasting. So let's just get to it. You can holler at me 17 trillion. Mark Thompson, my brother. Woo, I see you got a fisticuffs issue. I see you like putting your hands on folks. So, all right, let's get this popping. Reverend likes to put his hands on people.
The Rev. Yeah, he was blasphemy in here, but we'll get to it. Hey, Big John, what you got? Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, what's going on? It's John C., average American Negro, back with the fam. I said we got to get Mark Thompson, so we about to go. I ain't gonna get too far with the intro, but we about to. Yeah, we gotta do a deep dive. You know what I mean? We gotta do a deep dive. We gotta go back to the grill. We gotta go back to the old grill, the slave pit grill, and do some real cooking. You know, so yeah, I'm happy to be with the family, man. You know, so let's do it.
Mud, talk to the peoples.
Yeah, they call me Mud. You can find me on my socials, all at Of Lineage. That's Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, Bitter Dose TV, on Actify Press. Let's get it.
Bet. All right. As Sam and John alluded to, this is from the Tim Black Show. Mark Thompson, who has been in black media for a long time. He is an acolyte of Narcan and Cobra, the two, I almost said venerable, the two older reparations organizations. And we'll get into that in a minute. And for those of you who don't know, over the last, let's say, 5 years, the reparations movement has drastically changed. We have been seeking reparations since we left since our people left the killing fields of the South, or left slavery, chattel slavery. It's in everything we tried to do here. Some sort of repair for the harm that was done to us, or repayment for the harm that was done to us. Anything. And we started with 40 Acres and a Mule under Abraham Lincoln, and General Sherman signed off on that, and Abraham Lincoln signed off on that, and shortly after that, Abraham Lincoln was no more. But in any event, this whole reparations thing, things have changed. Dr. Darity and his data has changed this fight immensely, and unfortunately, these older organizations aren't making the adjustment. So we got to get Mark Thompson. I'm not a fan anyway. I don't give a fuck about this dude, but we got to get him. All right, Sam, let's rock.
Racial wealth gap in 8OS. I can't let you go without talking about that. Average black family worth 10% of the average white family. Average black college graduate less wealth than the average white high school dropout. And people don't understand why we need reparations.
Yeah.
What say you,
well,
Reverend?
Right. But no, you're absolutely right. And we are centuries behind catching up. When we talk about HR 40, which is legislation to establish a commission to study what proposals can come forth on what forms plural reparations could take, that's important. So that's where ADOS and I disagree. The ADOS movement is pushing for individual checks for those who can prove they are descendants of what they call slaves. First of all, we don't call ourselves slaves anymore. We are descendants of enslaved people.
So we can go ahead and pause that. Enslaved people, descendants of slavery, that's semantics. You're being an asshole. Second of all, American descendants of slavery, people who identify as descendants of chattel slavery, freedmen, whatever iteration that is being used right now. Nobody is looking for just a check, but don't bring nothing to us that doesn't involve a check. Like, that's up front. What else you got real quick? Because I feel like I forgot something.
No, I mean, you said it all. I mean, all this stuff is just, it's just a way for them to just kind of deflect and try to regain their leadership on it, quote unquote leadership on this issue, the Narcan and Cobra folks, right? But if you're not going to take on the data that's come out, especially the stuff that Darity has published, and you're not adjusting, because I mean, we're talking about HR 40. HR 40 was written 30 years ago. If you're not willing to adjust that document based on where we are now and what we know now, how do you expect to remain a leader of this I guess we can call it a movement, or this push towards reparations? How do you expect to remain a leader?
Yeah, I just think, I mean, when we get more into this shit, we gonna see, but he got a real old school way, late 60s, 70s type way of Black American politics. This is very outdated. It never grew. And some of the stuff
That's a fact, John.
Word up, it's a throwback. Like you said, like he didn't, you were basically alluding that he didn't mature, he didn't grow, it didn't morph into fit with the times. It's a relic, his politics is a relic of the past. Like it's no growth to his politics. Like
Not
it's
at
a
all.
stunning type of politic, and it's kind of like reflects kind of where our Black boomers are, and the quote unquote ones that are still radical, they haven't grown. You know what I mean? Like this is a newer type of Black politics, and they feel kind of threatened by it. And this is why Mark Thompson is using all types of bullshit to kind of deflect, you know what I mean? Like his bullshit position. So that's what I got on that.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100%. I mean, it's just like Al Sharpton, right? Al Sharpton shouldn't be president in our politics anymore. Those days are over. Jesse Jackson would still be in politics if his health was holding, right? These folks had the mantle should have passed at least twice by now. These Negroes in their 80s. This should have the mantle should have been passed long ago. Even a gray beard like me should not be on the forefront of this movement. It just should not be, right? Mud, what you got?
Well, with this topic, we're getting to like the real serious business of justice for American descendants of slavery, and the fact that he wants to like even spend any time talking about like the distinction of words between enslaved and slave lets me know that he's not serious. That is just something that I guess academics who haven't had any, I don't know, more important things or more pressing things to focus on have concerned themselves with.
Negro is a term that was applied to us during slavery by the slave master. And right today, it's a term that is used only to point out the descendant of slaves. It's never used for Black people, period. Africans can come to this country. They aren't called Negroes. And if they are called Negroes, they resent it. So if Negro meant Black, as we've been taught, it would be a term that would be applicable to or pliable to everyone.
But for the vast majority of us, we are concerned about not having actual cash. We're concerned about not having resources. So we're not trying to play all these goddamn word games. We're trying to get to the bag.
Absolutely, absolutely, and specifically, we're trying to get to the bag so we can pass on wealth to our children and grandchildren. It's not just about us in this generation; it's for the generations to come and the generations in the past that weren't allowed to accumulate wealth because of policy, not because our inability to accumulate wealth. We've proven over and over again. Just look at all the things that we've invented that we've gotten credit for, right?
And that they stole that we got credit for.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's not a matter of being able to accumulate wealth. It's a matter of policy that impeded or kept us from gaining wealth. I mean, and you know, those of us who have been here before, you know, I've not been here before, but have been in this fight for a while. We understand that, and you know, a lot of this particular show, we kind of target in Tim Black's folks to help them understand how much bullshit this guy was spewing, right? So, I mean, it's important that we kind of clarify those things. And, you know, we'll put links in here of the books and studies and articles that will help. And we just got to go on with that. We'll go on and keep this fight pushing. All right, Sam, let's ride.
Our history didn't begin with slavery. We were great kings and queens and builders of civilization in Africa. So that's the first thing. The individual check thing is fine, but that can't be it. You see, white folks, the middle class didn't just pop up organically under Cabbage Patch. It was built. FHA loans, Homestead Act, GI Bill, Social Security, and Social Security didn't originally include us. They had that investment. And wealth in America is determined by land ownership. That's where we're kept from. So you give everybody a check. I'm just gonna be real, Jen. Some folk in $8.
I'm gonna let that one ride, but that statement right there isn't correct either, because land ownership isn't the only thing that creates wealth in this country. Because a lot of white people have a little bit of land, but they got a lot of stocks, bonds, and other shit too. So that one, I feel like that was an overstatement, because you can give a bunch of black people houses and we'll still be poor because our houses don't appreciate. So this is the con that they're trying to pull here. It's like, oh, well, we'll just give black people resources. We'll put money into black neighborhoods. First of all,
they'll quickly become gentrified. Yeah.
I didn't grow up in a black neighborhood. My mom and my dad were able to get us out of LA and move to the suburbs. So if reparations would have happened in the early 90s for black communities, it wouldn't have affected me because I didn't live in a black community. There's plenty of black people whose parents or who themselves have managed to make enough money to live in a decent neighborhood. And that tends to not be black. And even if you fix black neighborhoods, most black neighborhoods are mixed with Latinos. So it's like where I live is like a 60-40 split. It's majority Latinos. And also when you fix our neighborhood, like Benji was saying, they're just going to gentrify it. It'll either get gentrified by people of color or it'll get gentrified by white people. The people who have more money are just going to come in, push us out, and then we're still going to be complaining. And they're like, well, we gave you reparations. No, you fixed up a community that didn't belong to us. The black community, there is no black community. We don't own shit. There's an Asian community because they own businesses. They own the shit in their community. They own the banks. They own the grocery stores. They own a lot of their houses. They own the land. We don't have a black community. We are black people who live places that is owned by other people.
And that goes to, thank you, Sam. And that goes to, there's a saying here in the South. They say that some people are land rich and cash poor, right? And a lot of times they'll own real estate, but it's not really valued that high. Or they won't own enough of profitable real estate. Like they won't have arable land where they can plant crops or pretend to plant crops and still get paid, right? So there's a whole lot of things that Mark is intentionally missing here, a lot of variables. And also, if I have cash, I can buy land. Now, if Uncle Sam's not getting, because most of the profitable land is owned right now. It's owned by white folks. Bill Gates is buying up as much as he possibly can. And one of the big ways to profit from that land is to purchase land where the government is giving subsidies not to plant, right? Corn is one of those things that and I think soy as well is one of those things that farmers are paid not to plant. So basically, you can own this land and you'll get money from the government for not using it, right? That's free money. That's free money. But most of that land is already bought, is already owned by mostly white people, right? That's the hustle, right? As Martin Luther King said, there's a lot of there, there's a lot of money was put into American agriculture, education, land, what do you call it? Loans, all kinds of stuff was pushed in American agriculture after slavery that doesn't benefit us at all. But however, if we get that check, we can purchase land if it's available, right? So there's things you can do with the check, so to speak. And again, it's not just a check. We anybody who's serious about reparations understands it's not just a check. But these are things that he's pushing misinformation about just to shut down these younger folks or this new wave of the reparations movement. Mud, what you got?
The only thing I would add on is this whole like his outdated rhetoric about how our story doesn't start with slavery. Like, all right, man. I mean, look, we get it, but for this conversation about reparations, being kings and queens in Africa is insignificant. So we need to start the conversation with slavery. You don't need to be filling up time just putting out these distractions in the conversation. Like, get to the fucking point.
Like as far as like him talking about trying to get us to start our history back in Africa as a way to kind of shift the conversation away from what's owed to the specific group of people here. Like, there's kings and queens in Africa, and that opened up a whole nother shit that we ain't even, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's denying now that we have African ancestors. And of course, the talking points of it's just the check. He's trying to just frame it like people that's fighting from where we fighting from just want money. This is what a lot of the Pan-Africans been doing, a lot of the people that's in NARC. And then COVID, they've been trying to push this narrative like we always said that we just want to check. They're not. What the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean? He's trying to shift it and try to make it seem like all we just want is to check, and we don't talk about the red line, and we don't talk about the land. What the fuck is he talking about? It's a way to kind of shift that away, like, you know what I mean? Try to shift that away and get away from that. The check is owed. Plus, the other stuff is owed too. Like, nobody in our movement is saying that it's not just it's a check and other. It's a check
Absolutely.
and it's not just the check.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of that smear tactic that we've been dealing with for years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
and
bringing this shit back up.
Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, we'll go into a little bit more, but the original ADOS movement, those were folks that are still there. They were talking about a policy for all Black people along with reparations policy, right? It wasn't just that, right? So this whole spin he's doing is, and that's available on those websites. You can look them up. You can look at my writing. All the stuff is available. ActiveIPress.com, right? So all this stuff, those links are all available in everything I wrote over the last couple of years. So in any event, this is an attempt at denigrating this modern portion of the movement. It is what it is. All right, let's ride, Sam.
Folk in ADOS don't want to hear this, Tim. You give everybody a reparations check for $2,500, $3,000 in this economy, and we behind in COVID. You can't invest nothing. You can't do nothing with that. But
who the fuck is talking about $2,000-$3,000? You worse than the Democratic Socialists. The DSA was at least talking about $10,000 per Negro. You talking about $2,000-$3,000? That's not reparations. They gave the Japanese more money than that for being interned for less than a year. Are you serious? $2,000-$3,000? So you're saying that Black people should get the same amount of money that they gave all Americans for COVID? Who are you?
He's a dumbass.
Like, let's be real. You Darity is on the low scale for me, and that's around between 272,000 to a little over like 350. Where the fuck did you get $2,000 to $3,000 for? If reparations was only $2,000 to $3,000, I wouldn't be fighting for it.
Nope.
I can get out here and work for $2,000 to $3,000. Black people aren't fighting for money that we can go get a job and work for. We're fighting for wealth. We're fighting for a redistribution of wealth. Bruh. I'm glad Tim, you did a good job though, because you gonna respond, and I see your face right here in this moment. Like,
yeah, Tim did.
No, but let me finish. And Tim, we love you, and I'm about to go in on Mark, but I don't want you to be I don't want you to breathe dragon fire like the Khaleesi. I want you to be the sensible, responsible Black man that you are. So
there you go.
You keep doing your good work, and we gonna be the niggas on the back dragging these motherfuckers.
Like Sam said, we're talking like 250 to 350 per person. And according to Dr. Derry, it would be paid over if we follow his plan, it would be paid over a 10-year period, right? So that may be what he's talking about. The size of those checks, I don't know. I don't do math in public, so don't go by me, right? But he's really, like Sam said, these numbers are crazy. That's just Darity's numbers, just closing the racial wealth gap, which is about $12 trillion. That's that. And then if you want to add Mutt's guy, Mutt's favorite guy, Kramer, add his numbers, right? And then you had the numbers for 40 acres and a mule alone. That's a couple of trillion right there, right? So when you start adding this stuff up, it gets pretty fucking big. I don't know what numbers he's talking about. Again, they haven't adjusted to the data. John, what you got?
Who the fuck said that we thought reparations was a check for $3,000? Like, you see that? That's the games that that's the games that he fucking playing right now, man. And you just gotta call. Like, we know what this is. Like, Sam, you already broke it down. We know what this shit is, man. He's just talking bullshit, because he don't like the way we going about things. Because he's not accustomed to this. Right? He didn't adjust to the new way that we doing things. You know what I mean? Because he want to keep his spot. So, that's it.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, John, because what these folks are running is a Democratic Party protection racket, right? They don't want reparations to become an issue for Democrats when they're running for office, right? This is this is all about, right? Partially, what this is about is to keep us from becoming a problem for the Democratic Party and them running for office, because they do not want to serve our needs, and this is a serious need. All right, Mud, what you got, man? Talk to us.
So far, everything he described is things that can be easily refuted just by going on ADOS101.com. So I don't know who he thinks he's fooling with this. I mean, even with the figures he threw out, that's less than what the Japanese got. That's less than what the Black people who got reparations for Rosewood received. And like in their case, they would be talking about a fraction of what our actual claim is.
Oh, and can I jump in? I just learned, Rosewood, they have the nerve to give motherfuckers free education. I hope those ancestors from the grave come back and torture whoever did that shit. I saw a little piece. How dare you give people who had their whole family shit burnt to the ground free college? Not free college. That's not money. That's a chance that you might, if you lucky, maybe get a job. Like, fuck you. If you think that's okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Didn't they get 6 figures though? I thought they
just the survivors, yeah.
The survivors got 6 figures.
But they
all three of them.
What the three, and then the descendants got like free college.
Oh, you're talking about the descendants. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I gotta double check and look into it, but I saw something about it. Don't quote my words, look it up. But I heard something like they got like fucking free college.
Yeah, I mean, the point of me bringing that up was not to like relitigate all of that shit. It was just to illustrate the point that what he's talking about now is less than like previous payments in the past were, and payments for things that don't even account to the magnitude of what we're talking about for reparations for the American descendants of slavery. So like he's insulting people's intelligence by making these type of arguments, basically.
You're right. I mean, it is what it is. This dude is so out of touch. But it's not even that I guess it's not even that he's out of touch. He's just trying to shit on us. Those of us who are in the modern reparations movement, right? Or this current iteration of the reparations movement. Shout out Callie House. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Fuck this dude. All right, let's go.
Catch up on the bills that you ain't being able to pay because of COVID. Real investment is what is necessary to make our community whole. And that's what HR 40 is about.
Sorry, I want to pause for a second because he's going to talk about HR 40. You can talk about HR 40 with that. But again, I just want to reiterate to white people, Black people do not have communities. For the most part, we don't. And every time, and the Black communities that used to exist have been gentrified by white people or gentrified by people of color. So every time we do have a Black community, if it's thriving and it's nice, y'all come and take it over. Like where I live now, they're gentrifying my neighborhood. The only thing about it is I own my house, so I'm not going to get pushed the fuck up out of here. And with Prop 13, they can't raise my property taxes, so I can't get pushed out for taxes either. But for people who rent here, they're getting pushed out. So that's the thing. It's just like, oh, well, we'll fix the Black community. Well, right now, this is a Black and Latino community. In 10 years, it's going to be a white and Asian community. So if you do reparations tomorrow and fix this community that's 40% Black, 10 years from now, it's going to be a white community. So you basically just gave more money to white people. It doesn't work like that. You have to fix the individuals.
Yeah, it's a good point, Sam, because that when you say fix community or place-based policy, that's a dog whistle to developers, right? To real estate developers. Oh, money's about to come into this community. Time to get rid of the Negroes. That's what happens, right? So, and it's visible all across the country. So it is what it is. All right. Anybody else got anything before we move on?
This is City Heights. It was designated an opportunity zone by the U.S. Department of Treasury because of its poverty, business activity, and geographic diversity. Opportunity zone investors get a tax discount after 5 or 7 years and ultimately pay no taxes on capital gains after 10 years.
A really simple example, you have $1 million that you've made in the stock market. You take that $1 million and you roll it into one of these funds. Rather than paying taxes next year, you don't pay taxes until 2027.
Recently, Steve Glickman, a former Obama administration economic advisor and architect of the Opportunity Zone program, visited San Diego to talk to investors and community leaders about the program.
And in the meantime, you can take that $1 million and invest in something new, like in an affordable housing project. And whatever profits you make on that project, as long as you've held your investment for 10 years or more, are now tax-free.
But the policy is purposely written broadly. There is no restriction on what investors can develop, and that's something critics of the program say worry them.
An accepted definition of gentrification is outside capital and more affluent people moving in from outside of the area into an area.
Eric Tilkmeyer from the City Heights Development Corporation says he worries longtime City Heights residents will get priced out of their neighborhood.
You know, you look at the legislation, and it's designed to bring outside capital into under-invested communities. So it's a perfect recipe for gentrification and displacement.
A recent study by Zillow Economic Research says home sales in areas that received Opportunity Zone designations increased 20% year over year compared to single-digit growth in areas that met Opportunity Zone qualifications but didn't receive the designation. The gentrification concern is on the city of San Diego's radar, too. Luis Ojeda is with the Economic Development Department of the city of San Diego.
Gentrification is a real issue, and then also displacement. And sometimes both of them go hand in hand. So we have to think about those issues, set up policies that incentivizes and promotes the ones that are doing the potential positive outcomes, such as increasing jobs, creating affordable housing and minimum housing.
The city currently has no way of tracking opportunity investors. An online portal will show investors federal and state incentives to help them invest in economically distressed communities in a positive way.
A new survey ranks the Garden State ripe and tops in the nation for potential development in opportunity zones created under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. America has nearly 8,000 zones deemed low income and economically distressed that offer tax breaks to those who invest and build there and create jobs. New Jersey has 169 opportunity zones spread out over 75 cities. This is one of those opportunity zones in New Jersey, Census Tract 81, Essex County, better known as Newark's Lincoln Park. The poverty rate here is higher than 40%. The unemployment rate tops 17%. The homeownership rate, less than 1%. Newark has 13 opportunity zones. Critics have taken aim at the program. The Brookings Institution says loopholes have allowed nearly a fifth of the zones to go in wealthier areas. Others have questioned their locations and what sits in them, even though they tend to have rates of poverty and unemployment 2 and 3 times the national averages. Examples: Trump National Golf Club in Pine Hill. It doesn't qualify for the tax breaks, but new development on it would qualify. Aware of the criticism, the state argues the area away from the golf club is highly distressed.
They didn't have the desired effect, or at least the stated effect, of helping poorer people in those neighborhoods become less poor or more employed. Instead, it's businesses that benefit up front. And there's very little trickle-down effect at all.
As long as local leaders are really at the helm of planning for that investment, and it can be done in a way that really benefits the community, this is going to be one of the most successful economic development pieces of legislation in my life.
SUNY Albany professor Timothy Weaver has written about the hope and promise of such zones. He says the new program could eliminate taxes on profits for the real estate industry.
Doesn't really need any extra help. And to think that by helping real estate industry will end up helping poor people in poor neighborhoods is really pie in the sky.
ADOS and I also disagree. ADOS doesn't like me. They want me off the scene. They're working very hard to get me off the scene. But one of the other reasons for that is HR 40 deals with the slavery, with the vestiges of enslavement. What I mean by that, it's not just about enslavement. It is about slavery's evil offspring: Jim Crow, lynchings, voter suppression,
absolutely,
the mass incarceration system, and the modern day lynching of police violence, the police demic we're in. They would say, well, those people can't prove they were enslaved. Well, see, when the NYPD killed Amadou Diallo, and when they sodomized Abner Louima, they didn't ask them if they were the descendants of enslaved people.
So real quick, two things, right? Number one, if you're concerned about he's talking about HR 40, which is a House Resolution 40, which is in the House right now. It went through markup. It was supposed to go to the floor for a vote on Juneteenth. Joe Biden put the brakes on that. That's where we are now. Okay, now that's the first thing. Second thing is the fact that you can name on less than one hand, all these folks that were harmed by police that weren't descendants of slavery should tell you something, right? So we've got Abner Louima, who was not killed. He was sodomized. Some horrible things were done to him, but he was not killed. Both Majon in Texas, he was killed, right? And Amadou Diallo, he was killed, right? Three folks that these people can name off the top of their head. They may be more. I'm not saying they're not more. But the vast majority of black people that are killed by police unjustly are us. That is a red herring. That is a red herring. I wish somebody would do a study on what percentage of these killings are actually people who are not us, right? Because that is a red herring and it's bullshit. Go ahead, bud. What you got?
The Diallo thing happened in the 90s. That's going back 30 years for an example.
Yep. Lima too. Yep.
That alone should tell you he's trying to manipulate some shit right now. This is not like, the reality is, look, they have a separate claim. Like, we have to look at this thing like it's a whole package. Because the difference between us and the difference between any immigrant is that they chose to come here. We were forced into this situation.
Yep. And they have a place to go back to. That's important too. They can go if they want to. We have to live in this because this is the only home we ever had. Go ahead. I'm sorry, John. Mud.
Yeah, but that's basically it. Like, look, we did not choose this situation. The government put all these obstacles in our way, and it has to fix that situation for us. Now, if you chose to come here and the government put obstacles in your way, look, I think you do have a justice claim, but it's a different justice claim than mine. And you need to go figure that out with the government.
Facts.
White people get gunned down by the police too. Yes, it's not in the same numbers as us, but they still get gunned down in the street. So to use that, the police will still kill you. So the police randomly kills white people and Latinos and other people from time to time too. But it's not on the same level as it is with Black Americans who descend from chattel slavery. No, they don't ask you, do you descend from chattel slavery? But you're more likely to descend from chattel slavery if you live in certain areas. most likely if you descend from chattel slavery, you're not going to be living in a place where rent is like $3,000 plus a month.
Yeah, and those of us who have friends in the diaspora, they'll tell you the truth. They downplay being black when they get pulled over. Them accents come out. And the accents come out, and they play up on that last name. My last name is Ngozi. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to put in that video where he was like, I'm not a nigga. I came here on a plane.
Not a ship. Yeah. But he went out on a stretcher.
Pure African. I'm not an African American. Like this boy said, like, I'm not a nigger. I'm not a nigger. I came here with a flight. I didn't come to America with a ship. So there is a difference, you know. There is a different blood flowing in our stream. So he can't say this is not the toughest fight. He knows.
He weighed in at 201.5 pounds, undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 13 wins, no losses, 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the undefeated, bulletproof, Brandon Glenton. Please welcome the undefeated world-ranked cruiserweight contender, introducing the Nigerian pitbull, Efetobor Apochi.
Slowing down is a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Great action in this fight. He's out. Big hook. Apochi has been down. Let's take another look at how it all happened. Big hook, and then the right hand, and when you're being held up by the ropes, that is a knockdown. And that's when the bell rang. So Gary Mizwa jumped in there, but here it is again. There's the hook.
That's why I said I am sorry. Nobody's above mistake. I made a mistake for the trash, for the post-fight trash talking, and I am sorry about that. And I mean my apology. But
all right, let's get back to it.
Listening to Reset Race, you now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, back on the grill again. We grilling them, You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to US Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redline and lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. To win you need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.